Hello guys and welcome to Salwyn Gaming. This is Salwyn himself casting a game from one of my friends. He sent it to me, said please commentate on this, I like what I did. And so I will. We're going to be commentating on a Janna support, not the most exciting lane in the world, but nonetheless this does turn out to be quite a decent game. Now I did just cast this game not knowing that I was had my mic muted. For some odd reason I never normally mute my microphone, but I had it muted anyway. Anyway, let's get quickly into this game. We have Janna support buying 4 wards, 1 fairy charm. I do not like this. I would like to see 2 healing potions and 3 wards instead, because that opens up a lot more space for trading in the lane. Sivir starting with the Doran's Blade, not a fan of that either with the Janna support. There's not a lot of sustain there, and against the Cockmore Soraka, that is most often than not going to give huge problems, because Cock has that good poke range and Soraka gives that amazing sustain in the lane. That's going to be a problem. So what I would like to see would be let's say boost 3 pots on the Sivir and 3 wards, 2 healing potions on the Janna instead, but it's not what they chose to do this game, so we're going to just see what they do with what they have. Anyway, we do have the CV going down on the blue, showing that there is no invade coming, so Gangplank can easily start on his blue and get that quite safely and get off to a good jungle start. We have Dokwart, one of our other friends, also in this game, playing Kennen mid. Kennen mid, one of the champions he is known for sucking with. Whenever I see him play Kennen mid, he goes 0-6. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Now I have told him plenty of times, start W mid lane or start W with Kennen in general, because it makes the CS it makes the harass early easier, but he chooses to go Q because he thinks it's easier to CS with. So let's see what his CS is like at 10 minutes or so. Anyway, we see Cockmore and Soraka going to be giving some support on the blue pool here. So they're going to be arriving a little bit late into the lane. Now we did see no golems for our buddies in the bot lane. Now some of you might be a little bit... Oh, let's see here. The trade coming in. The shield on the Sivir there. Cockmore getting off an auto and the ooze. Sivir not responding with an auto attack of her own. So a free trade for Cockmore there. Sivir here though getting a full double hit boomerang. Cockmore just standing there frozen like a deer in headlights. Completely caught off guard by that amazing double boomerang hit. Anyway, as I was saying there, no double golems for the bot lane, so they're going to hit level 2 around the same. Actually, Cockmore hitting level 2 prior to Sivir, so that does indicate that they might have picked up some experience from the blue buff, or maybe even taken wolves, or just experience from the wolves. Anyway, we see Janna here hitting level 2 before Sivir. That is most likely because of that what's it called, the experience points from those what's it called, from the utility build. Anyway, Sivir here going in with those massive balls, sadly proving to be too big balls for his body, and he dies to the turret without picking up the Soraka kill. Sad day. Anyway, Floppy here losing a CS that he could have easily picked up because he thought it would be more prudent for me to type a comforting little message for my AD carry, and in some cases that is correct. Anyway, the Sivir does, however, seem quite capable of handling himself, so maybe Floppy should get off his mummy shoes and step into some support shoes instead. But nonetheless, they do pick up the first blood bot lane and actually get executed by a turret. So a free first blood bot lane for Sivir Janna. So really getting off to a good start there. We do see a gank coming up top lane there. Warwick flashes out. Does have the red buff from him. Gangplank, due to the poor quality of the replay thing, is not the replay maker's fault. Of course, they've made a wonderful tool, but they have limited resources when it comes to doing such, because people don't donate. Bad people. Anyway, Sivir back in lane here now with those double Doran. Still no boots from her, so she cannot chase down that Cockmore. Anyway, starts with a little bit of trade there. It's a double boomerang there. Janna a bit out of position, doesn't get the shield in or the knock up onto Cockmore, sadly though. She does manage to get it onto the Soraka there. Udyr coming into lane. Sivir way overextended there. Udyr coming in with the red buff. Is going to flash across. Gets the stun onto Sivir there with the slow from that red buff. And Cockmore's amazing range. They do manage to pick up the kill. Sad, sad day. Sivir there overextending, doesn't notice Udyr coming down through that ward. The ward was in place. Good ward from Floppy in that case. Sadly though, Sivir again with those massive balls of him just not realizing the dangers he was facing. So another death for Sivir. Luckily the first kill given away in that bot lane for our teal team. Anyway, dokwart there doing some trading there, using his lightning rush to pick off that lightning charge and get the stun off on Vladimir. Not quite sure what the point was of that, but anyway he did it and it happened, so there's that. Anyway, Gangplank coming down here bot lane. Janna with the shield and the knock-up onto Soraka there, securing the kill. Cockmore chasing down way too hard. They're gonna see a boomerang blade there, straight across, double hit. Sivir there going in, picking up the kill for another assist for Janna and a kill for Sivir. So she's going to be way ahead in this lane at this point. She's 2-2, and most likely with a lead in the CS. Actually, yeah, 18-12, 6 minutes into the game. That is not impressive whatsoever. Anyway, Janna here going up toward that dragon, then chooses to go back since she only has one ward and wants to stay in lane longer. Picks up that Philosopher's Stone and the boots to follow. So she is going to have a bit more aggressive power in the lane now. More mana for those shields and knock-ups with the tornado windham thingamajig. The Howling Gale. Yep. I think that is it. Whatever. I don't have Janna, never played Janna, never tried her, so I don't really know her abilities. But that is the Howling Gale that does the knock-up tornado thingamajig. Animation, whatever. Anyway, Cockmore's back in lane with the double dominance to match Sivir's double dominance. Sivir does, however, have the boots as well to back those dominance up, so she cannot choose. So she can choose to chase onto Cockmore if he does not put down that Void Ooze. So Sivir there with the slight advantage in the lane. Soraka out of position, does not have the heal ready for that Cockmore. Comes in to give it off there, but taking a lot of damage herself with that shield from Janna to give that extra AD, which the AD carries love ever so much. Sivir there going in, taking a bit of free damage. The shield a bit late there. Janna a little bit too far behind in that lane, needlessly so. However, they still do have that advantage of Sivir being way more fed than Cockmore. They do have equal items at this point, but as soon as Sivir goes back, she is going to have a big advantage. And as we see, they do both have the level advantage, so they can get some free harass on there. Sadly missing with both hits of the boomerang there, this Sivir, but she has been quite accurate with it so far in the game, so that is not a big problem. Anyway, we see Shen and Warwick in that top lane just farming it out. Not a really interesting lane, since both of them are really tanky, really sustainy champions. Udyr getting hit with the double boomerang there as he comes down to gank and chooses to back off rather quickly. Gangplank ganking in the bot lane, picks up a kill with the assist to Kevin there, Kennen there. So really well for him. Anyway, Soraka getting caught out of position there. Does drop to the ignite. A Howling Gale goes on to Cockmore to keep him off of Sivir. And he chooses to back off to just stay safe. Even though Sivir is quite low, he could probably take this trade quite niftily. He tries to come in for a bit of damage there. Sadly only gets the Void Ooze off onto Sivir. And is forced to back out again. Janna coming up here quite aggressively. Most likely going to look to put on some damage onto Cockmore just to make the lane a bit more easy. Sivir there popping her shield to try to block that spell, which is not a spell, it's an auto attack. Sivir, come on, and Janna with the late shield as well. So a little bit of a misplays here, but nothing major. Looks like the lane is winning. If you're having a look at the CS here, we have Sivir at 39 to Cockmore's 27. So Sivir definitely ahead in this lane, not only on the experience, but also on the gold. So when we see her go back to buy, she's going to come into the lane with a massive advantage and really going to look to push this lane into her favor. For some reason I stutter. Again, dokwart there with the lightning rush to poke the stun. Is not optimal in any way, shape or form. Anyway, Sivir here going again with those massive balls of his. Running straight into Cockmore. Cockmore getting caught again with the headlight deer syndrome. Simply just too scared of this massively balled Sivir there, just running back to his turret, taking a lot of free damage, but Soraka is now back in lane with those heals to give him that much needed sustain. We do see though still Sivir level 7 against the level 6 Cockmore and Janna level 6 against the level 5 Soraka. So the experience advantage is still in the favor of our lovely team here. Anyway, we see Sivir back out. She's probably gonna pick up something big now, like a Doran's, like a BF sword, and indeed she does. BF sword, or maybe the boots could have been an option as well. Boots plus the vampire scepter, as I like to build myself. But as they do have that huge advantage in the lane, going for that extra damage is probably a pretty decent decision to make. Anyway, Janna here going back as well. Gonna pick up the oracles. Not an item I like on Janna. Janna's quite a squishy champion. She does have a good amount of disengage, but this early in the game she's very prone to getting picked off in a team fight and whatnot. Especially if she has that oracle's buff on her, people will look to take her out very offensively. Anyway, we do see Sivir here getting that double boomerang onto Cockmore again with that BF sword doing massive damage, and now just looking to shove back this lane that has gotten to her tower while she was back to base. Janna here moving up to clear those wards and place down some of her own to give that much needed vision, since the lane is going to be pushing back towards the purple side. Whew, not breathing is quite hard in the long run, you know. Going to have a sip of a drink. See dokwart here getting caught trying to go for the ward. Does manage to get out with the lightning rush though, so no real trouble for him there. Still just a pretty steady farm out in that mid lane there. Sivir taking a little bit of free damage from Cockmore. Gangplank is coming in though, and since that ward was cleared by the oracle, that is going to be a pretty safe position to be in. Now they do see Udyr come down here. Janna reacting instantly. The slow from Gangplank Q, the slow from Janna there, trying to pull them into the Gangplank ultimate, and managing to do so pretty niftily, picking up the first kill onto the Udyr there with the ulti heal, and the shield onto Kennen there, putting on the Howling Gale onto Cockmore, and Cockmore drops down to Kennen. Oh, let's see. No, he does not find Sivir. Had he moved to this position, he would have killed Sivir there. Soraka getting chased down in the jungle, gets picked up by Shen with the help of Gangplank. And that is a 3-for-1 engage. Actually, that's a 3-for-0, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. That was a 3-for-0 engage there. Could have looked to pick up the dragon. Sadly, however, does not manage to do so, since the jungler is quite low and it was not able to tank that at said point. Janna here looking to push the lane a little bit, since there are a lot of creeps, and Sivir is just back to base, so she's just gonna clear out the wards, get a few CS of her own to get that extra little cash money. Let's see what she can do with that. Anyway, still up top, we do have Shen with that 211, 61 CS at 13 minutes. Not that great. Let's have a look at dokwart. 59 CS at 13 minutes. Keep in mind, at 9 minutes you can have 107 CS, as I just found out by an article link from the SK homepage. Anyway, they do manage to pick up yet another Cockmore kill here, overextending without having his Soraka in the lane. Gets picked off rather easily with the slow knock up and Sivir damage. Sivir having picked up those Berserker's Greaves now, doing real heavy damage with that extra attack from the W and that what's it called, boomerang blade. Q double damage there. So she's doing massive amounts of damage, and without Soraka in the lane to help out, there's nothing much that Cockmore can do. Anyway, Vladimir here looking to pick up the tower mid lane. Gangplank not been back to buy yet since that dragon fight. Really too low to defend it, and the tower gets lost. However, meanwhile, bot lane tower also drops. Top lane, a little bit of a fight going on here. Looks like Warwick gets the short end of that stick and has to back out a little bit. Gets the taunt from Shen. Shen looking to put on some damage there. Does manage to force Warwick a little further back as well. Anyway, Sivir, after taking down that tower, does decide Gonna go back and pick up myself a vampiric scepter for that extra sustain in the lane. Actually manages to pick up the bloodthirsters by selling one of those Dorans. Not sure that is the best idea, but since it does stack up, that probably is the right call in this case. Normally selling out your Dorans is not optimal because that is an expense you pay that you don't fully get back, so that is essentially gold lost whenever you sell a Dorans, especially this early in the game. That is advantage given away, but since Sivir is so far ahead in the lane, she can afford to do it, and picking up that early Bloodthirsters is going to give her a much needed sustain in the lane as well as in the team fights, and getting those early stacks also gonna help out. Oh, it's so hot in here. Anyway, some action going on there top lane. Shen there still doing quite well. Now we see Janna. Let's have a look at Janna. Picking up that, what's it called? Turtle shield? Let's see. Heart of Gold is what it is called. I do not play that much support, so I'm not quite familiar 100% with the names. But she does pick up that Heart of Gold. Not quite sure that is the best decision. Ude coming in for a gank here up top lane. Gets the slow from that red buff onto Shen. Sadly though, Shen gets away. dokwart coming up here for a counter gank. Can they manage to be picked off? No, looks like they have a ward in the bush there. Gangplank ultimate coming down. They do look to dive, or Gangplank at least looks to dive. Not quite sure the rest of the team is in on it. Look like they're gonna go for it now. Kennen with the ultimate picks off Warwick really fast there. Warwick must have been low, and Sivir comes off to pick up that Udyr. Janna there catching out Vladimir with the slow and the knockup from Howling Gale. Slow from Sivir Red and Gangplank Q both go on him. Shen there almost getting the taunt on him, but he manages to get out of it. Still dies though, gets off the ultimate to do some extra damage. Sadly does not, for him, pick up any kills. Here we go, Janna going into the offensive jungle. They're gonna ward up the buffs just to get that extra advantage if they are able to do any form of offensive counter jungling there. Shen teleporting down to the bot lane to hold this turret that Cockmore and Soraka has been pushing onto while that top lane fight was going on. Now, I love watching these replays, man. When you look in places that the camera isn't, it all looks weird. Anyway, see Janna coming down here, checking for wards all over the map at this point in the game. It doesn't look like there are much around. Still having that oracles. I would still stand by my statement that it's not the best item to get on Janna this early in the game. I would rather see it on the jungler this early in the game. But so far it has paid off, but it is a gamble and not one I recommend taking. Anyway, it does pay off in this game, so good on you, and unfortunate to say the least. Anyway, Sivir there with the red buff may not look to pick up their own red buff. Yeah, he does. He's going for that own red buff right now. Janna there sees the ward is about to expire, goes to plant down another one, check for any wards again. Obviously there's not going to be any because no one has put anyone since you ran there last, but does get that updated ward down there, sees the ward coming in from Udyr, and just easily going to be able to go pick that up with the help of Kennen and Sivir. Meanwhile, Vladimir pushing mid, Shen pushing top. Shen with that global ultimate, able to join a fight anywhere on the map. So really can just look to push that top lane until the fight breaks out and then ultimate into the fight. We see Vladimir moving down towards the bot lane here. Looking to do a little bit of a surround on the bot lane here. Does get spotted by that dragon ward in the last second. Sivir coming up here just to show him, I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. Oh, I have such a nice mouth, don't I? Anyway, Vladimir taking a bit of turret hits here. Fight breaks out. Kennen ultimate comes in across, stuns both targets. Wow, Vladimir taking a lot of damage. Udyr down very low as well. Vladimir drops first to Gangplank. Warwick now the target, drops to Sivir, while Kennen drops to Warwick. Chasing on to Soraka and Cockmore. Soraka flashing away there. Cockmore nearly gets away the flash from Janna and the slow, followed up by the Gangplank show on the Shen taunt to pick up that kill for Shen. For a 3-1 exchange, really good for the teal team. Now it looks like they can pick up a free blue dragon and a free a free blue golem and a free dragon. Holy shaspot. Anyway, Udio and Vladimir calling good game at this point in time. Sadly though, guys, it's only 19-22. You can't really forfeit at this point in time, but let's see what happens after this dragon. Anyway, making slow work of it, but does manage to pick up that free dragon for that extra free gold. That's about 1,000 gold global, give or take. Well, mostly take a little bit, since it is only 190 per player. Plus, I think it's 30 for whoever picks it up. Maybe just 25. I'm not quite sure. Doesn't really matter anyway. It's about 1,000 gold global for the team. So we do see Warwick up top defending there, while 5 people are pushing in on that mid lane, going straight aggressive onto Vladimir. Picks him up really fast. Kennen with the kill there, and just starts going to work on the turret in the mid lane. Warwick still just sitting top there. Looks like he has given up. Just free farming there until the surrender vote can be cast, and there it comes, the surrender. The GG, Sivir picking up the last kill of the game. Pretty decent game for the teal team there. The purple team getting a bit crushed. Some mistakes were made, a lot of good calls were made. Overall, a pretty good game for both Kennen and that Janna from Floppy. So good to see them improving. As I mentioned earlier, normally the Kennen would go 0-6 in that mid lane since it's dokwart playing him, but he manages to go more than even, so that is good for him. And Floppy in that bot lane, pulling up some good support. Still has some ways to go, but still improving day by day, so good to see on that. Now I hope you enjoyed this casting. Now I will say I did like my first cast better. That was a fresh view. Sadly though, the microphone off, so I didn't pick up any sound, so I had to cast it again, and not a fresh view, but still hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave the video a like. It makes me happy. It makes me see that you like what I do, and that's kind of what's important, you know. Anyway, that is it from me. Until next time, have a good day.